بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اسمحوا لي النهارده ارحب بحضراتكم في ختام جولة ميدانية طويلة الحقيقة في محافظة
In Qalyubia governorate, I was very happy to be accompanied by several ministers, my colleagues, and under the hosting of the governor of Qalyubia. Before I speak about my visit, I want to speak about three issues. Firstly, Egypt, of course, is keeping in mind all the success that Egypt has seen with regards to negotiations with the United States and Qatar, this great success with regards to reaching a ceasefire and a peace deal and the end of the war in the Gaza Strip and the ceasing of the humanitarian crisis that our Palestinian families and brethren have been suffering from for the last 2 years. Here, I would like, on behalf of all the Egyptian people, to thank and appreciate the role of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi that had a great responsibility with regards to the negotiations and leadership of all the efforts that were happening in this specific issue with regards to negotiations for this deal. I would like to highlight for all Egyptians, for all of us to keep in mind and remember the Egyptian stance that was unwavering and is unwavering, and what President al-Sisi said clearly, that we will not allow, no matter what pressure we are put under, the dissolution of the Palestinian cause and the dislocation of the Palestinians from their homeland and their land, and the dissolution of this historical Palestinian cause. And all the Egyptians and Arab nations and Islamic nations know the importance of the Palestinian cause and the consistency of the Egyptian stance from the beginning of this crisis. Egypt was clear and steadfast in its opinion over the last 2 years, even in the face of all the propaganda and the false news that was being published and said about Egypt, that Egypt is not supporting or assisting. And of course you all remember everything that was said about Egypt during these propaganda campaigns that were against Egypt, and you all know who was behind these campaigns. Today you are seeing the international community's stance and appreciation of Egypt, and you've all seen the U.S. envoy, Trump's U.S. envoy, and what he said about the Egyptian role with regards to achieving this great success. Over the next few days, God willing, the whole world will witness the signing of this peace deal. Once again, great appreciation to the President of Egypt, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, as well as the U.S. President Donald Trump, with regards to all the efforts they have exerted with all the regional partners, Qatar and Turkey, as well as all the Egyptian institutions that have worked every hour on the hour for the last 2 years rather, to allow the delivery of humanitarian aid, allow more negotiations, bring negotiations to fruition in order to achieve this great achievement that the whole world is celebrating today, and God willing it will be complete in the next 2 days. Today of course is the Girls International Day, and wishing all Egyptian girls a wonderful day. And over the last few hours today, everywhere we have visited, whether it was an industrial zone, educational or services sector, even in the different projects we witnessed today, we saw the role of Egyptian girls and Egyptian women, and we were very happy to see so many women workers in many of the factories that we visited today. Also in the university we visited today, the majority of the students were Egyptian girls, and I would like to mention a figure I was told by the Minister of Higher Education. Today in Egyptian universities we have 53.5% of the student body being made out of girls or females. So they actually surpass the number of males or male students, and this is a wonderful achievement indeed. And respect to all Egyptian girls and Egyptian females. In every place I visited today, just sitting down and speaking to Egyptian women and Egyptian females, I saw great achievements, great education, great achievements really in several sectors. The third issue that I want to discuss today is the economic situation in Egypt. And yesterday you saw the Standard & Poor's rating agency that uplifted the Egyptian ratings to the highest in the last 7 years. It's now B instead of B negative, with a future stable outlook. And the most important thing that was mentioned in this report is that Egypt has successfully launched its reform economic programs, and Egypt is undertaking this program successfully, and this is being seen in all the economic sectors of Egypt. And they said that they have great confidence in the Egyptian economy, and over the next few years we will see further improvement in the Egyptian economic sector. Also, with this agency, we also saw Fitch ratings agency also supporting the economic development in Egypt and confirming its trust in the Egyptian reform program. To end what I want to say, today we had a very important visit. Today we passed by very important sectors. We started with a project for national housing, and this is a very big project with over 500,000 housing units that are being implemented now in many governorates all around the country under the guidance and leadership of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, in order to improve the housing units in Egypt. Also, in Qalyubia governorate, we've seen several informal areas and informal settlements that were basically dump sites. Today we have seen a great civilization. We have seen great housing units being built, and over hundreds of thousands of housing units available now for citizens all around the governorates. Then we moved to the industrial sector. We visited 3 main factories, one in the food area, the other one in clothing sector, and thirdly in household machines. The industrial sector, as you all know, thank God, has seen a boost as a result of all the Egyptian state's efforts. We have started to see industries increasing and championing the Egyptian economic development. Thousands of Egyptian men and women working in these industries and factories. When you see over 7,500 youth, men and women, working in such a factory and exporting 100% of its output to the world, this is a great achievement. What I'm talking about now is with ready-made clothes. Also with the food industries, we are seeing this industry now covering the needs of the domestic market and exporting surplus to other countries. Also, we've seen another important factory and research and development center for household machines, and we are seeing a great shift in the quality of Egyptian products. Now other countries like Japan also are now importing from Egypt, and we are now exporting our products. And what we are seeing today in Qalyubia governorate is indeed very encouraging. We're not even talking about Cairo or Giza governorates, we're talking about Qalyubia. And we see these factories all around the world, all around the country. Also today in my discussions with the governor, we discussed that the governorate of Qalyubia, before President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi came into power, only had about 28% of sanitary and sewage coverage. Today, we have every single city in the governorate of Qalyubia with sewage coverage. And in informal areas and villages, we have over about 80%. We are seeing the development of such villages and cities in the different governorates that had no services, but today we are seeing a development in several services. You also saw our visit today to a school of Egypt Gold, where youth are designing and producing some wonderful products with regards to gold and silver. And today we discussed how we will be developing a technological tertiary education institution in order to allow them to further their studies in this field and allow them to travel abroad to other countries that are calling for the Egyptian workforce. Today was a great visit again to the Banha University, and I would like to speak about these universities. This is a great example of such a university to provide families in this governorate, and Egyptian families need such educational institutions and universities that are good enough, just close to private universities, even though we don't have all the financial means for private universities. But in today's university, like Banha's University, we are seeing thousands of these children and students now in these universities and are now working towards the development of the Egyptian student. And the first group of graduates will graduate at the end of 2026, which is a great development. You're seeing a great development in the educational sector and the educational programs in such schools. We also visited several development projects in the Corniche area, the first hotel being built in Qalyubia Governorate under the armed forces. Also, we visited a project for the Egyptian People's Walkway, and I have encouraged the governor to continue this project very quickly. Finally, and last but not least, I would like to speak about the families of Tours specifically. Always they complained about the lack of health services and they did not have a hospital. Today I would like to apologize for the slight delay, but today, thank God, this project is ready and completed, and the project of this hospital will be inaugurated within a month, in the middle of November, the Tours Central Hospital. And this is a great achievement in the health sector that we gift to the families and people of Tours. I'm discussing over 6 hospitals that have been inaugurated over the last few years, hundreds of medical centers and health centers as well under the Decent Life Initiative, and a great development in the medical sectors. And we have several hospitals still being built and constructed, but the development is ongoing, thank God, and moving forward. And God willing, every day we will see further developments and new projects to service the people and citizens of Egypt and all the governorates away, even from Cairo and Giza governorate. We're discussing all the governorates, Delta, Upper Egypt, as well as the development arm, which will reach every single area in Egypt. I'd like to thank you very much, and God willing, in future visits we will highlight all the development and progress in Egypt. Always long live Egypt and forward ever. Thank you very much.